Hello everybody, Ken here and welcome back to Dark Souls. Last time we picked up the Coiled Sword after trouncing the mighty Uchigatana, who was there to judge us as we woke up from our grave, and we passed the test, we defeated the judge, claimed the Coiled Sword, we've lit this bonfire, the bonfire of Uchigatana. And now we need to take the Coiled Sword and thrust it into the Shrine Bonfire, apparently. Now, we don't know quite where that is, but there's seemingly only one way to go, and it's through this big double door here. So, let's just head straight in. Grinding open the ancient metal. Where are we now? Well, looks like just some more pathways here. Still on this mountainside at the foot of the hill, up to that structure we saw on the horizon a little bit earlier. Could that be the shrine that we've heard about? And we have a look. We pick up this broken straight sword. It says, seems to have the same moveset as our longsword, but it says neither move would appear very impressive with a broken sword. So perhaps not a good choice of weapon, but a Dark Souls classic. Always good for those challenge runs. You know, can you get by with the old broken sword? The weapon, in fact, you start with in Dark Souls 1 until you pick up your class weapon. We've got these two chaps here. This lovely fella's got a spear. The other one, just chilling out. Go for the parry. Doesn't quite work, but we give him a kick. Can we give him another one? Oh, there he goes. I love that new falling animation when you knock them off the cliff and they just full cartoon, arms flailing, and we get a homeward bone. Another good staple Dark Souls item. Return to last bonfire used for resting, a bone fragment reduced to white ash. And it calls us back to a bonfire. We can either go back to the last bonfire we rested at, or we can return to the Shrine Bonfire. So, time looks like to ascend this hill. Anything over to the side? Not very much, but we do see that chap up on the right. Doesn't look like we can get to him from here, but we should bear him in mind going forwards. He's not really paying too much attention though, so we don't need to rush straight over. But we could do. There's also some guys on the left. We'll be wary of them. Got to stay mindful of your surroundings. This chap just encapsulated, or enraptured, rather, encapsulated, not the right word, enraptured by the vista. And, well, we showed him what for. We taught him that you need to be paying attention in Dark Souls. And we're paying attention. We know that these guys are trouble, so we take him out quickly. And yet more. This man's got a crossbow and another spear fella. Gonna grab a fading soul. Nice little consumable soul item for us. And there's the weapon art. We go for the charge. It looks like the charge doesn't break guard, so that's good to know. It's got good range to it, but not a guard breaker. But the R1 weapon art does break the guard and leaves them open for that critical hit. Take him down. Another fading soul to add to the collection. Have a little sip of Estus. Just replenish our health. And onwards and upwards we go, I guess. And that looks quite inviting, but I always like to leave the thing that looks most inviting until last. Because that's probably where the game wants you to go. So let's check out these side areas first. And not too much going on here. Wander around. Oh! Hello. A surprise pup. It caught us a little bit off guard, but made quick work of it. And ooh, another item. An ember. Last episode, when we defeated the boss, Uchigatana, we restored our ember. And this item here, gains strength of flame, boosting HP until death. No unkindled can ever truly claim the embers that burn within a champion's bosom, which is precisely what makes their yearning for warmth so keen. And this will restore us to embered form. You see right now our clothes just just tickled with flame, just burning ever so slightly. Those little cinders. And determined, this seems like a way we can get up. So let's try and get up there. It feels like, it feels like you could be able to make that jump. And again, nope, go on. I'm sure I can. There we go. Fantastic. So yes, now we're embered. We've got a slightly higher max HP. And it does say that being embered might draw other, other unkindled to want to come into our world. So that's obviously leaving us open to the classic Dark Souls invasions. So kind of like, it's kind of like being human, although it's probably more like Demon Souls, where you have your, I think it's soul form and human form, I think is how they describe it. So you have a direct, okay, normally we're unkindled, and then if we use the Ember or beat a boss, we're going to become embered, and that's our active, higher HP, and being invaded. And check out this chap here. Scary stance. Oh, he's got some kind of katana. Looks like the old Dark Souls 1 Uchigatana, and it's dealing bleed damage. And he's really taking us to task. And we finish off our last Estus Flask. But, gosh, he's really given us the work. And unfortunately, we weren't prepared for it. 7,658 souls lying on the ground. We run back. We make that jump again. And we're going to go back round. We're going to find him. And see if we can reclaim our souls. And reclaim our honour that we kind of lost by being taken out so easily. But I'm confident that we can trounce this chap. And we find another Cleric Sacred Chime. You know, seems like these enemies have a reasonable chance of dropping them. And I actually realise, oh, hang on. I didn't need to make that awkward jump. The path just goes round to the left. So, you know, a little bit of exploration goes a long way. But nice to know that you can make those kind of jumps in some areas. Because that's the kind of thing where you'll find interesting paths in Dark Souls. And particularly with people like speedrunners and such, where they'll find interesting ways you can jump across awkward gaps to make things a little bit quicker. And we retrieve our souls. And, sir, we've got issue with you. He's got these big slashing strikes. And it's really eating away at our stamina and our health. And there you see, he breaks our guard, hits us, takes off the last of our stamina. That breaks your guard, that leaves you open. Thankfully, he wasn't able to capitalize on it. But we're going to try and whittle him down here. He's got a lot of health. And he's taken us down again. Right, round 3. This time we've got him. Although we need to get those 7,000 souls. Feel like they would be quite handy. We haven't had a chance to level up yet, so presumably we'll need to get to the shrine first. And he gets in the first hit. But now, opportunity to backstab. But wait, what? What happened there? Outrageous. I'm sure we were behind him there, and he almost lag stabbed us there. And oh, no. 4th time, 5th time, is this the one? No, he's broken our guard and we're down. Right, 6th time, nope. 7th time, nope. 8th time. Yeah, it's not going well for us. But I'm confident that this is the time. Number 9. Number 9, single digits, keeping it in single digits. Just got to focus here. Got to wait for our opportunity. We can't just keep blocking his attacks. We have to make sure that we dodge some of them. Because he's got a chain that takes off all of our stamina and leaves us open. And that move looks a little bit dangerous. He's got this kind of stance where he holds the sword in like a ready position. At the moment it looks like he's just blocking. There we go. He's got that ready position there. This one where he's kind of holding it behind him. And looks like he's got a lunging attack out of that. But also looks like he might be ready to parry us should we attempt to attack him while he's in that stance. Okay, well, he's near the edge. Maybe we can exploit that. Seems like a good possibility. But he's really coming at us. And now, thankfully, we've kind of confused him. We're up here. He's down there. What are you going to do, Mr. Uchigatana? Oh, he's worked it out. Leap in on him. Oh, but he traded with us. And, oh, crikey. He's giving us the beans. He's giving us what for. But, we've got him, you know, a decent chunk down, but we are out of Estus Flasks. So we're going to have to really knuckle down, really focus here. Just take our time. Be patient. I don't want to attack him here because I think he's going to parry if I do. So I'm like, what do I do? You know, maybe I could, do I just wait him out? He really will sit in it for a long time. Can I give him a kick maybe? That might do it. Got a few ideas spinning around in my head. I'm constantly thinking, when he gets down here, I kind of want to, I'm like, oh, I want to get him off the edge. But he's smart enough not to hang around there for too long. And anyway, if we can best him in noble combat, then that's going to be the best result, the most satisfying result for us. Go on, give him the swings. Oh, there's a big hit there. Get away, Sasha. We're going to roll down, we're going to get a little bit of distance, although he's closing in quickly. And we back off again. You'll notice our health bar, of course, because we died to this chap. After we died the first time, we were unkindled again. We had the lower health. I'm going for the fire bombs. I'm getting a little bit scared, trying to cheese him out with the fire bombs, but doesn't look like that's a great option. It's not doing a ton of damage. We're certainly not going to get enough from the two that we have left. So probably not the best tactic. And oh, I got impatient. I swung in, got parried, and we're dead. Yet again. But I'm determined. So attempt 10. Let's give him what for. And a parry again. Got to be more careful about that. Oh, sir. And he's off. Not even hanging around. Number 11 doesn't work out well for us. Right. You know what? Enough playing fair. Enough playing nice. No, a cheeky item. An east-west shield. I missed this completely. It's a good thing we died so many times. Right, now we've found the item. We can kill him. And let's have a quick look at this east-west shield. You see, 55% physical damage. It's much better at most of the other things, or at least better than our current shield at most of the others' stats. But physical is kind of where we want to be, especially against this chap. Anyway, we've had enough playing nice. Time for some dirty tactics. He gets near the edge. And he's away again. And but this time, we got the kick. Give him 4, Sasha. Get him 4. Get him off. There we go. Ha-ha. Yeah, not the fanciest of techniques, but it worked. However, you know, he's fallen down. We haven't got his stuff. So, in classic Dark Souls fashion, what do? When you kick someone off a ledge? You quit and reload. And we do that. Has his item come back? Oh, it has. What did he drop? Uchigatana and the Master's Attire. Let's take a look at this Uchi. A big katana, slash and thrust. Finely sharpened blade cuts flesh like butter and causes bleeding. And you'll see it has that stance, which can then be turned into either a lunge or a parry. As we fell victim to on many occasions. We also get this Master's Attire. Very light. But it's certainly a lot less powerful. Men are fond of weaving tales to explain the raggedness of their garb. My sixth sense warned me of danger, and I danced between flurries of blades. Unscathed, but alas, my clothes went to tatters. So he's saying, you know, oh, how did my clothes get so messy? Well, I was in this big fight, and well, I managed to dodge all the attacks, but they just clipped the fabric of my clothing. And I think now we've cleared everything out. So back to that lovely inviting doorway. And I guess just one quick little bit of a reconnaissance, and then we'll head inside and see what awaits us. Good job, Sasha. You've made it this far. In we go. And we arrive at none other than Firelink Shrine. Well, what is it? A little jump for joy. Now, this doesn't look like the Firelink Shrine we know, the Dark Souls original classic Firelink Shrine. This looks like a new place. So it seems like, you know, Firelink Shrine is quite a generic term. It's a place dedicated to the linking of the fire, and in the first Dark Souls, it's above where you go down to Gwyn's area, down to the kiln of the first flame. So the Firelink Shrine built above that kiln of the first flame where the fires were first linked. And this one seems like it's set up ready to link the fire. And immediately, as soon as I've got inside, I notice a little doorway and I go, well, let's head out. Let's see what's outside here. We get a little bit higher up. We see this tree, this kind of Dark Souls 2 style giant tree. And a gate. But it's locked. Looks like we'll have to go key hunting if we want to get into there. A ladder that we can probably kick down, but I'm sure we'll have to find a path up to there. Perhaps through that locked door. Who knows? Unless we could jump onto here, we could give that a crack. Doesn't look like we're going to have too much success, but I'm going to give it a quick go just to see. No, it doesn't look like we're going to have much luck. Perhaps someone will work out a way to jump up there, but I don't think it's going to be me, at least not right now. And anything up here? Looks like we can drop down to the area before. Oh, an item. Well, let's grab it. It's another homeward bone. Quite handy to have. And we'll pop around. Let's take two. Let's go back into Firelink Shrine and do it right this time. Okay, now we see a lady down below us. So, probably our first port of call. Hello.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side.
The lords have left their thrones.
Ashen one, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen one, bring me souls plucked from their vessels.
Oh, and there's a little happy dance from me because that's very, very Maiden in Black. This line here, bring me souls plucked from their vessels. It's so Demon Souls, the Maiden in Black. And this area, very reminiscent of the Nexus. And you see there, touch the darkness within me. And the Maiden in Black in the Nexus, in original Demon Souls, says, touch the demon inside me. And she says, let these ownless souls become thine own. Very, very similar dialogue. Clearly very evocative of that. And I say this whole area, quite Nexus-like. This kind of sort of big, tall, architectural structure filled with curving staircases around the edge. And we have a little look at our leveling options. We've got, of course, the stats we looked at last time. Do I want some health? I'm just having a quick look to see what I kind of get from putting a point into each one. Just how much it's going to give me. Probably to start off with, I'm going to stick with stamina, a bit of health, and then the likes of strength and dexterity. So here, pop those three. Health, stamina, strength, up to 14 each. And I leave myself 1,000 souls because, you know...
Farewell,
or in fact, I leave myself 3,000 souls, which is more than I need to level again, but... Hey, we haven't explored this whole area. Maybe there's somewhere we kind of want to spend our money along the way. So I give her a little bow, and she bows back, very much like the Bloodborne doll. So good to see that making a return. And give her another little gesture here. Give her a jump for joy. Yeah! And she likes that, very amused by that. So what else is in Firelink Shrine? Well, these stairs, leading down. Looks like there's not too much around here. Another path down the side. Anything down here? Looks pretty empty to me. But I'm sure if this is going to be our hub area, then I'm sure we'll fill this area up with NPCs. So probably each of these corners will end up with someone hanging around in there, willing to chat to us and help us and offer us advice. And see a little tunnel, some more stuff down there, but here's a chap.
Another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
Well, speak for yourself.
Don't you think?
Crestfallen. This crestfallen warrior, you might say. Another Dark Souls classic trope. And he gives us a gesture. The collapse gesture. And this is probably one of my favourites I've found so far, actually. Just fall to your knees. Very, very evocative. Very kind of classic. No! But a good one there. Very appropriate for the crestfallen warrior. But for now, we'll leave him be. He seems a little bit miffed.
Asking us to see.
And he says as well the same thing that the maiden said to us, the firekeeper said to us. She said, we need to return the Lords of Cinder to their thrones. And we saw in that intro the different thrones. Ludleth the Exiled. We saw Aldrich of the Deep. The Abyss Watchers. Have a little wander down here and see what's going on over here. Oh, and of course the giant. I forgot to mention Yorm, the giant of the profaned capital. And as we heard in the intro, they said the lords were called by the bell in order to link the fire, but actually they all just returned to their homes and abandoned the thrones that they were supposed to sit on. And here you can kind of hear, I can hear noises, and I'm not quite sure what's doing this. I don't know if there's just enemies outside the wall of Firelink Shrine, and that's what's causing this, or if something more mysterious is going on. But for now, I guess we'll leave it be, because nothing seems to be quite happening. And you can hear that tinking of it's probably a blacksmith. Well, we'll make our way over there in a moment. We've got to find a way back to the middle first. Looks like this staircase will take us back up to that central area. And let's have a look up here where the thrones are at. And you see we can drop down to those side areas if we want to. And here, the first throne, Yorm the Giant of the profaned capital. And his appropriately giant-sized throne. The second, the Abyss Watchers, Farron's Undead Legion. And you see these very, very familiar swords. If you played Dark Souls 1, very much like the Great Sword of Artorias. Artorias, of course, one of the first to go into the Abyss. So the Abyss Watchers, Farron's Legion of Abyss Watchers. Obviously, some kind of relation there, most likely to Artorias. And then here, the large central throne. Holy King Lothric, last hope of his line. Of course, we're in the land of Lothric, so the king the land's named after, probably an important figure. Ludleth the Exiled, of course, as we heard in the intro. And here, Saint Aldrich of the Deep, that kind of big, gunky, gooey monster that we saw. Looks like they've appropriately prepared his chair to handle that. And then whoa! Looks like I thought I'd have a little stand on here, but it looks like old Ludleth the Exiled. He might have been exiled, but it looks like he hasn't run away, because I just spied him in his chair there. And we have a little collapse on the I don't even know, I imagine that must be pretty slimy, although maybe it gets cleaned up. Maybe Maybe the Firekeeper cleans it up while Aldrich isn't around. But here, Ludleth, hello!
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludleth of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my charred corpse. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy.
And you see there, looks like his legs have completely burned away, poor chap.
Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast fading flame must be linked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus.
So there we are. 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. A reenactment of the first linking of the flame, which of course is in the original Dark Souls, mentioned in the intro. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and of course the others, the Witch of Izalith, Nito, the First of the Dead, Gwyn's legions, of course, the undead pygmy, so easily forgotten. And here, well, that looks like a familiar figure off in the distance. Could it be? Perhaps, but for now, let's talk to this other familiar figure. Looks a bit like a, looks like a bit like the old Firekeeper ladies from Dark Souls 2. But says she's a handmaid of the shrine, and looks like she's going to be our core vendor.
Ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me.
I mean, that makes sense for a shop.
As is thy want? No?
I'm going to fetch souls. I'll give you a few, sure, in exchange for goods and services. Seems reasonable. Let's see what the Shrine Handmaid has to offer us. You know, very reminiscent of those early Firekeepers. So she's got lots of stuff. Ember, repair powder for repairing our weapon if it's breaking and we're not near a bonfire. Purple moss clumps to remove poison. The old fire bombs, of course. Prism stones to mark our way. The homeward bone. The white sign soapstone for co-op, and a dried finger used to reset the cooldown on invasions if you want to do that. A tower key, 20,000 souls to the decrepit tower behind Firelink Shrine, which leads to the bell tower. Sounds like what we need to get through that locked gate, but 20,000 souls is a lot, so we might have to hold off for now. Few sorceries, few weapons. I contemplate the short sword, but for now I think I decide probably best to stick to the long sword that we've already got. We don't need to drop 600 souls on a shorter sword. It does have this lovely torch here, and coming off Bloodborne in particular, where the torch is quite handy, I feel like that might be something I want to hang on to. I'd quite like to have a torch around. So I pick one up, and a few shields, a few bits of armour, the classic early merchant chainmail, much like in the original Dark Souls. You can pick up this chainmail early on, but we've got quite nice knight gear. I don't think we really need any chainmail, but good to look at it. Knights may favour imposing armour, but for warriors on the battlefield, you're just as well off with the chainmail. It's quite flexible, it works quite well, it does keep you alive pretty well. Looks like she doesn't sell any upgrade materials, at least not yet. I'm just having a quick peek to see what we can sell. Nothing of huge value.
Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares.
Okay.
Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death?
So we can bring her umbral ash that we find, and that will effectively expand her inventory. Good to know.
Knowest thou of that soppy gossip? that cordial
I love a bit of
entreaty
soppy
layeth
gossip.
path to embers. And so thou art in need of a soapstone, ashen one. Then thy pockets will overflow with souls to trade.
I like her logic. Hey, you want lots of money to spend on my goods? How about you spend some money on this lovely white sign soapstone? Yours for only 500 souls. Lovely white sign soapstone. You'll be making money back in no time, and then you can spend it on all these other lovely goods I have. Very good sales pitch. But here, this figure we saw before, could it be Andre of Astora, the Dark Souls 1 blacksmith? Surely not. The very same. It can't be anyone else. Not with that look.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine.
Well, blow me down.
Humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust.
So this early area is very
You require good arms.
nostalgic. You know, the Nexus look, the pseudo maiden in black, the crestfallen warrior,
Such is my purpose.
the kind of old firekeeper look of the merchant. Of course, Andre himself. I don't know how I feel about this. It depends how the game does it. If they tie it together well, it'll be incredible. If they're just kind of using these because, hey, this is some soul stuff and hey, it's our greatest hits final look, then that's kind of disappointing. I hope they manage to kind of tie it together in an interesting fashion, not just have it be, hey, we used Andre because we already had this Andre model and it's a blacksmith and we needed a blacksmith. Hey, people like Andre, he's got a good voice. And here you see we can allot our Estases. So we can choose how many Estus or Ash Estus we have. So we have 4 in total and we can allocate them however we want. For now, I'm going to stick with 3 and 1. The way the game gave it to us. Presumably that's the best way to do it. It looks like an Estus shard will reinforce our Estus flask and give us more charges. Andre just chatting about some mechanics. I'm not really listening to him now. I listened to him at the time, obviously, but I'm talking over him a little bit just because, hey, this is all fairly straightforward bits and bobs. I must say I'm a big fan of this Firelink Shrine music. It's very, very gentle, but kind of rousing. Any more tips, Andre?
There are 2 ways to smith weapons.
Okay, he's just going to carry on telling us about reinforcement and infusion. So we can reinforce our weapons with Titanite, and then we can also infuse using the gems that we have.
Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing.
So we've already got that fire gem that we started with. I'm not sure if we found any others yet or not, but
infusion requires gems.
we
Bring the stones.
have that option open to us.
It's my purpose after all.
So Andre, again, like I said, if it is the first Andre, that kind of makes sense. He was undead, so he could theoretically have lived this long, even if this is a long time after original Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. And he may just not have gone hollow. He's got a very intent purpose of, you know, his smithing is his purpose. He gives us a nice hurrah gesture, of course.
Infusing weapons with gems requires a special.
Ooh, this seems actually quite important. This isn't just tutorial.
Won't be any use infusing more.
Okay, so kind of like how we used to get the embers, the large ember and the divine ember and so on in Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls. Here, we need coals. We need to find coals for certain infusions. You don't look too thin-skinned, my friend. You look quite rough and ready, to be honest. There's a blacksmith wood with all that banging metal and being near fires all the time. You get quite hardy. And here he's telling us, yes, the Estus shard can reinforce our flask. And we can allot them as we want, which is always quite a nice little... So if we find we're doing a lot of magic, we can head towards that. For now, I'm sticking to what they gave us by default. I'm sticking 3 for health and 1 for focus, just in case we run out of our FP. And repair for weapons,
Be careful.
good to know about, but it seems like it works pretty much like, it works kind of like Dark Souls 2, where they repair when you sit at a bonfire, but seems like they're quite a lot more durable than they were in Dark Souls 2, at least. Which is good news, because they ran out very, very quickly in that game. Probably too quickly for my liking. So just trying out our new hurrah gesture. And I think we'll slap that one on. It's a pretty good one. Pump the fist. And that seems to be pretty much all of what's going on in Firelink Shrine. We'll have a little peek in here. Andre's got this quite big space. Doesn't seem like there's much. I wonder if this will fill up as he as we bring him coals and such, or whether he's just got some breathing room. Lay out a camp bed. So 5 lords to find. Well, 4 I suppose. One's already here, and they need to be here to reenact the first linking of the fire.
Produce the Coiled Sword at the bonfire. The mark of ash will guide thee to the land of the lords. To Lothric, where the homes of the lords converge.
Ah, a first mission. Let's do it. And that's all for today. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, be sure to bop that like button, and I'd love to hear any comments you have as well. If you want to be kept up to date with my videos, feel free to subscribe to the channel, or just pop back whenever you fancy. I've been Ken, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers!